Good morning, fellow humans. Good morning, people. This is Edward Bevilacqua, and today is Saturday, May 18th, 2025. What? No, 2024. Okay, Saturday, May 18th, 2024. Here we are, and we are at G.School. So this is the weekend. Monday through Friday, we are at Department of Career Services. Saturday and Sunday is G.School, where we talk about the most important thing. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning. Good to see you here. So today is the day we talk about today and tomorrow we talk about the most important things. So just think of it, Monday through Friday, we're talking about learning the tools to help us on our journey through life. 3 of the 4 tools: the importance of physical, mental, and emotional. Good morning, Wadabevi. Good morning, Undersergeant. Great, thank you for the trash bags. So Monday through Friday, in our 4-part transformation program, we're focused on 3 legs of the table: the physical, the mental, and the emotional. Saturday and Sunday is G.School, where we're focused on the spiritual. Today's meme, the meme of today. What is the meme? The meme of today is, what is a Christian? Part 2. Galatians 5:13 through 26. And you might be saying, what? I thought you only did red letter. That's true. We do only do red letter, except when we don't. Good morning, Mitch. What? We only do red letter except when we don't. What does that mean? What the beep does that mean? Well, the non-red letter parts should support the red letter. But when you go into the churches today, they very rarely talk about the red letter stuff. They talk about the other stuff, the Paul stuff, and you don't have a basis that it really is to support the red letter. That's it. So we are looking at Galatians 5:13 because what are the 2 great commandments? Who knows the 2 great commandments from Jesus? That if you do these 2 things, you're going to be fine. You will be one. Who knows what the 2 great commandments are? Good morning, Carla. So the Fab 5 is there. Once again, led by Rebecca was first. Wadabevi was right there, but she had to come from a lot further away. She had to come from Virginia versus Virginia. Okay, the great commandments: love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and love one another as I have loved you. We're going to 15:12 instead of following love each other. Love your neighbor as yourself. We're not doing that one because that's kind of, well, if you don't really like yourself, you're not going to like your neighbor. But if you use Jesus as the example, so that begs the question. So breaking this thing down: love God, blah, 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 ... Love your neighbor, or love one another, ... What is the question? What's the thing we need to know? We need to know, what is love? Right. That's the mystery question in there. What is love? Correct. Okay, what does love mean? So Galatians 5:13 to 25. If anybody has any apps on their phone, any Bible apps on their phone, you can look at it. I do. I have Blue Letter. I know you guys use the better one, but I know how to use Blue Letter, so it's easy for me to navigate. And it's not that important for me to have to learn another one, even though the other one's better. Okay, Matt's driver screwed up. Matt hit a door jam today. He's late because he hit a door jam. His driver hit a door jam. Okay, so Galatians 5 13 through 26 talks about what is love. And there's a list of things in there. If I'm in the NIV version, we get down to 22. The fruit of the Spirit is love. Joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Okay, so love is willing the good of the other. That's the basic bottom line of what is love. Willing the good of the other. Meaning your orientation is to the other person. How often do we get disappointed by what other people do? Right, so have to remind ourselves that love is willing the good in the other. So that I want you to get what you need, what you actually, maybe it's not what you want, but what you need. That is what love is, willing the good in the other. Does that pass the categorical imperative test? Does willing the good of the other pass the categorical imperative test? So if everybody did that, would the world be a better place? Probably, right? Because we would sacrifice for other people. You want a banana, I want a banana. My thing would be for you to have the banana. Then you're going to say, no, I want you to have the banana. I'm going to say, no, you, no, you, no. We're going to start fighting over who's going to have the banana. So that's not probably what would happen into the categorical imperative. People would not end up getting in fights. It would be reciprocity, right? Okay, thank you for the banana today. I really appreciate it. Because if I don't want the banana and you're forcing me to take it, this is good for you. That's not really love, right? So let's go back. In G.School, where our idea is to forget, the starting point is forget what you think you know about God and Jesus. I'm not saying it's wrong, just saying put it off to the side, forget what you think you know, come at this from a fresh mind. Or as Jesus said, it's easy for children to enter the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because they're open-minded. So we need to get to that state. Forget what you think you know. And then if we do that and we accept when I die, either something's going to happen or nothing's going to happen. We don't know for sure. It's not generally accepted. However, the evidence is starting to tip that we do have a transcendent soul. And if we have a transcendent soul, and you use the Copernican revolution of not trying to say everything revolves around man, just we have a transcendent soul and everything doesn't revolve around man, you have a way to make sense 13.8 billion years and science and evolution and suffering and all of the things that people have problems with regarding religion and especially Christianity. All of those things suddenly make sense. But for our purpose, the thing would be if there is a transcendent soul, and if there's a benefit to being good, why would I do anything other than pursue that? Because if we look at the universe, we accept science is 13.8 billion years old. That's like a 7-mile walk. And if we're walking at 10 yards equals a million years. No, I think it was 1 yard is a million years. It's about 7-mile walk. And if a yard is a million years, 100 years, a lifespan of a person is about the thickness of a hair. Doesn't make sense. The standard Christian model doesn't make sense. If our life on a 7-mile journey, our life lasts the width of a human hair, doesn't really make sense. However, if it's that we're the 7.5, 7-mile journey. We're the hair at the end right now. And if we do what Jesus said, if we follow the gospel, if you follow my commands, you will be one with the Father and I, meaning you'll go to where the creators are. Let's just call that heaven. You'll be with the Father and I. Then you can look forward to, well, it's been 13.8 billion years so far. We'll have eternal life. So would you sacrifice, what would you sacrifice today to have something better? So would you sacrifice 100 years of torture for 200 years of the opposite? 300 years of the opposite? 500 years of the opposite? 100 years of absolute torture for 5 times that amount of the exact opposite amount? Yeah, probably. Well, just imagine in eternity. Those little 100 years of suffering doesn't really be such a big deal. It'd be like pulling out the pain you feel if you pull out one hair out. No, that didn't really hurt. But that amount of pain compared to the rest of my day is nothing, right? I could put up with anything if I do the right thing, and at the end, my reward is to be with the Creator. Okay, so that's a way to answer the question of what about suffering? The answer is it's not really suffering. Yeah, relative to other things, it might be suffering, but in the absolute objective reality, it's not suffering. It's just a little bump, pulling out a hair, a little flick to the ear type of thing. It's not a big deal. It's not suffering as the way we get it. And on the other hand, the way you could look at it is if you were good, right, and you had a tragic car wreck, boom, dead, dropped dead of a heart attack, and there is a transcendent soul and you're a good person, what happens? You just got there faster. You didn't have to wait 100 years. You waited whatever time. So consider that. And now let's get back to Galatians 5:13. So, well, love God with all my heart, mind, and soul. Okay, that sounds good. What does that actually mean? Love one another as I have loved you. What does that mean? Okay, so live with love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking envy each other. So if you do these things, then you're going to be on the right path. But again, what is love? Love is willing the good of the other. Willing the good of the other. So if you went through life willing the good of the other, are you going to be helpful? Yeah, you're going to do good things. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is we haven't thought about it. We have a lot of maxims. Who remembers what a maxim is? I know, it was a long time ago. It was yesterday. We learned about maxims. What is a maxim? Somebody, Mitch, are you still there? What is a maxim? Kingdom of Heaven. Rebecca, are you there? Maxim. What is a maxim? This is an easy one. People, we spent a whole class. No, it's not moral virtue. It's a moral rule. Maxim is a moral rule. So yeah, you could say it's a rule we live by. So maxims are things that control our behavior. The rules that control us. Spelling sucks. Okay. Not sure what that means. So we have these maxims that we live by. We need to match them up or uproot them, replace them with these. If you take the maxims that we live by, which are generally these: sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissensions, factions, and envy, drunkenness, orgies, and the like. That those who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God. What? Right. So look at the list, the beginning list in Galatians. Where was that? Yeah. 19 through 21. Not good. That's living in the flesh. If you live in the flesh, not good. So here we are at 16 minutes in. So what I would say to you is it's really simple. If you focus, when I die, either something's going to happen or nothing's going to happen. And it's looking like something is going to happen. If something's going to happen, would I want to prepare for that if it could be really good? Right? And we have some instructions from someone who appears to be the incarnate, the creator incarnate. So do we get any? So did God show us? Okay, so let's go back. Something's going to happen or nothing's going to happen. Looks like something's going to happen. Do we have any objective truth, any objective ideas of how to live? Well, if one of the creators came down to earth and gave instructions on what you need to do? Help us? Yeah. So if the creator of the universe came down and said, here's what you need to do if you want to get to heaven. Right? So if something happens, either something happens or nothing happens, looks like something's going to happen. Okay, if something's going to happen, how do we get there? Would it make sense that the person who's making the rules might come down and say, okay, here's what you need to do? Yeah, that's Jesus. How do we know he's the creator incarnate? Well, it looks like the Shroud of Turin is real. If the Shroud of Turin is what it's supposed to be, that's a pretty good indication of what we should do. Right? The Shroud of Turin is real, and the person who was under the shroud said, here's all you need to do if you want to get to have a good next step. Here's what you need to do. Should we do that? Yeah. Why do we think the Shroud of Turin is real? Well, the main thing is, it makes sense, but we don't know how it was made. We don't have the ability today to recreate it. We don't know how it was made. We don't have the idea how to recreate it. The ideas that we have are consistent with the story in the gospel of Jesus' resurrection. Now that's where it comes to belief. So we've got a story that makes sense. You can believe it and do it because we have instructions, including Galatians 5. Or you can decide to not do it. What do you have to lose if you do it and you're wrong? Meaning, we are just atoms in the void. If you live like this, like Jesus was the creator incarnate, he said, do these two things. If you live that way, but it was false, what happens? Well, you probably have good kids, good offspring, good friends. You probably had a good life. On the other hand, if you didn't do it and you're wrong, you didn't do what Jesus said and you're wrong, then what? live a good life, right? That's if you do it. If you don't do it, if you don't do what Jesus said and you're wrong, that's a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Now, also in this thing of how to be, it leaves room for all of the other, for Buddha, for anybody who lives according to this, anybody who lives according to those two commandments. Did Buddha believe in love God with all your heart and mind and soul? Well, it depends what you mean by God. But I would say, yeah. Did he want you to love one another? Yes. Would Buddha agree with the things in Galatians 5? My hunch is yes. Okay. And other great spirits before and after Jesus say the same thing. Are they compatible with what Jesus said? Love God, love one another. Are they compatible? If they are, that fits into the new thing. But we're at 20 minutes and 40 seconds. And thank you, people, for being there. As for today, I propose whoever wants to have lunch, we can do lunch. I have to work on my paper. I have to bring somebody to Pink Box, maybe. I don't know if she got a ride. I think I'll text her as soon as we're done here. But I have to work on my paper today. Last night I was at the debate. Again, the town hall. Tammy Pittman did very, very well. So with that, everybody, go have a good day. But I would say read Galatians 5:13-26. Just read it and ask yourself, what are the maxims I live by? What are the maxims I live by? And on the bad ones, you will. So yeah, that could still be a maxim that I have. Okay, Wadabevi, what are your plans for today? Everyone else, thank you for being there. Spread the word. We need people. Let's be helpful to Amara. There was some kooky text from Natasha yesterday claiming credit for her being in, saying that they got her a grant. If she thinks that, she shouldn't think that because she was there when this whole thing went down. Let's be helpful to Amara. I am going to get her a job. IOP, she's had with us since before December. She was in IOP in November. Maybe it was even last August. I don't remember. So IOP is not big on my thing. I'll certainly be happy to talk to Amara if she's under the misimpression that IOP is part of our program. Our program is to help her move forward. She has the tools. She just needs to start using the tools to move forward, have hope, etc., etc., etc. Let's call soon. Okay, I'm going on a retreat. Forward, don't retreat. Go forward, Wadabevi. Forward. Okay, everyone. Let's think about lunch today. All right. And shalom. Boom.